Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news on the net. I'm your host, Drac, and today we have a surprise episode talking about NERFBALL. Drac, why didn't you talk about NERFBALL 3 days ago when no information was public and it was ambiguous? Well, that's the primary reason. So effectively, the announcement breaks down into like three major categories. There's an announcement, there's an announcement for shareholders, and then there's a video that's been launched. So the original announcement is, you know, the head of the global franchise and strategy saying that this is Nerf's first ever organized sport, which, you know, is a little belittling to the hobby space. I get it. You know, over here, we've done a lot of tournament stuff, but certainly elevated the hobby into a sport. But from Nerf's perspective, it's still not true, right? I mean, you've got the entire Dart Tag Championship from 10 years ago, which I guess if you haven't been with the company that long, you just wouldn't know about, right? But effectively, from my side, I know that this has been workshopped since like 2016. They brought in a lot of outside talent to kind of shape this and put it together and create some sort of hybrid between the Nerf sports section, which is like where, you know, the Vortex football and the Nerf bat and what have you come from, and the blaster section where they're like, how can we combine this into a sport? And so effectively, what we're getting is a sport where points are scored via a ball, and then players are moved and then, you know, around the board through the utility of a blaster. Ironically, not too terribly different from Taser Ball without the tasers, obviously, because Nerf is fun and friendly and safe for indoor play, and tasers are not. So that's just kind of a sneak peek of like what the gameplay should sort of break down into. A lot of the announcing in the event space is going to be controlled by the talent of Donald Driver, who, in addition to being an okay football player, also happens to be an incredible hype man. So that's looking pretty good. That's pretty exciting. Very much looking forward to that. And the real meat and potato of this is that we have to talk about the blasters and the equipment and the development, because in the sizzle reel for this, we see what are effectively heavily modified hobby stripes. And this is a complete first for Hasbro, and almost an interesting kind of state to where they're at internally with design, in that, you know, you have worker mag adapters in these blasters. You have half-length darts and half-length magazines feeding these blasters, and the blasters themselves are old school stripes. Like, they're modular stripes. They're no new product, which is how this would have normally been launched, is with a flagship product, but they're stripes with battery stocks. So the batteries are hosting those 3D printed things that you can see on the stocks there, and they're firing half-length darts. It's pretty incredible to see that in official promotional material as they've been workshopping this game and getting it ready to launch. It's all very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Hasbro is certainly not the first to the half-length sector. That would be the hobby, and then following that, there are multiple companies that have debuted product at End War that have come to FoamCon and showed off exciting entries into this category. It is safe to say that Hasbro's version of competitive play is going to be somewhat dialed down from the FPSs and the level of adrenaline that we experience here in the hobby space. However, being an official Nerf branded event makes it a very, very exciting pretense indeed. So, you know, the biggest announcement here is that something that we've known for about 3 years now is now fully in the public eye. They are publishing it on official channels. They are telling us that they have been workshopping with half-length darts, that they are planning on moving into that space, which is clearly the ideal projectile. Hopefully, it represents a step away from some of these more gimmicky things like, you know, Ultra and Hyper and what have you, and a step into like true organized sport and play and kind of that category. And from my perspective, this is a net awesome positive. It shows Hasbro moving in the correct development direction. It means that we'll get new product specifically at the entry level. It means greater exposure for events like the Foam Pro Tour and the Blaster Tag Association. I mean, it really means that we, as we move forward, we'll have, you know, the rising tide to raise all proverbial boats within this space. I couldn't be more excited about it. They're claiming that they'll be debuting the NERFBALL Championships in summer of 2023, which is very interesting because previous timelines reflect that the product shouldn't be available on store shelves, theoretically, until the quarter after that. So perhaps some things have been moved up, perhaps some things are being moved along. Either way, presuming that you know, all of my rampant speculation in this video is true to form. I'm excited for it. I think that you guys should be excited for it. I would definitely sign up for the email link if that's something that you're interested in. And I guess as long as the official details of the game have yet to be released, there's no better way to practice and start getting your team ready than to get out there, start playing some King of the Hill, start playing some Sin Zone, really start developing your Nerf group's competitive team, and start forging them into the foam-flinging warriors that they can be. So I'm excited for it. I think that a hybridization between blaster, you know, games or war games, as they could be called colloquially, and sport via the incorporation of goals and balls and Donald Driver is going to be pretty cool. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the description box below. And you know, assuming teams of 5. I have a pretty mean team of 4, and I'll be looking for a 5th soon, I'm sure. Maybe we'll host open tryouts over here. You can hang out with us goofballs. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. And as always, much love. Blast on, Drac out.